Okay, well, let's take a look and start with psychodynamic perspectives on personality. These include theorists like Freud, who you see pictured here, Karen Horney, Carl Jung, Alfred Adler, and a number of others that we're not going to get into. But these are the psychodynamic perspectives. And, basically, according to these perspectives, that there is an unconscious component to our personality that essentially pushes us, that is, outside of our awareness, but nevertheless has some influence on us. Now, Sigmund Freud, who you see pictured here, the Psychoanalytic Theory, really emphasizes the unconscious and says that the unconscious is essentially what is the primary push to the primary component of our personality. Also, according to these perspectives, is that our behavior has symbolic meaning. It indicates something else. And especially, again, with psychoanalytic theory, the symbolic meaning is referring to something that is going on in the unconscious. So the behaviors that we might do reflect something going on in our unconscious. Maybe some of us engage in maladaptive behaviors. Maybe some of us might be OCD, let's say, and might be, constantly, checking this to see if the stove is off 27 times before you leave the house. Well, according to Freud, he would say that this behavior is really indicative of something that is going on in your unconscious that you might not be aware of, maybe you haven't identified yet. And it's that issue that's going on in your unconscious that might be leading to these unusual behaviors you might be having. Finally, our early childhood experiences, according to these perspectives, have an enormous impact on our personality as we grow and become adults. So, especially according to Freud, the experiences that we have in early childhood are so crucial in terms of sculpting our personality, in terms of creating who we are. And again, Freud emphasizes it to an enormous degree. And that's one of the criticisms, actually, is that maybe what's happening when you're a young child and not enough as what is happening when you're an adult. So let's talk about psychoanalysis, psychoanalytic theory. The procedure of psychoanalysis was developed by Freud to deal with some unusual cases that he was having. See, Freud was a physician. He was a medical doctor. And he was having some patients who were reporting physical symptoms that really did not have any physical cause. And he decided that, they couldn't be treated by medicine, really. They couldn't be treated by surgery. They'd have to, essentially have to talk to the person and perhaps dig down deep and find out what might be causing these symptoms, that these symptoms are actually psychosomatic. So according to Freud, one of the main driver of our personality is our sex drive, in that these urges come from our unconscious and they are really guiding us and pushing us to become who we are. Now, they might push us in a direction that is good, developing a healthy, loving relationship with a partner. That's certainly something that it could be pushed to. It could also be pushed towards, perhaps, maybe, using that energy for something else, perhaps for intellectual pursuits or artistic pursuits. That's another way in which the sex drive can be expressed. It's basically about survival and reproduction, which is something we need to do as a species. So this is clearly very important for our survival, and Freud's theory really emphasizes it a lot, all the way from infancy, by the way, which is another controversial aspect of his theory. So I was mentioning about patients who had symptoms that had no physical cause, and that's essentially what hysteria is. That's what he called it, hysteria. Basically, he argued that this hysteria is overdetermined. There are multiple causes for it, but these causes are in your unconscious. You're not even aware of what might be causing you to have these symptoms, but it's your body essentially revealing what is going on in your unconscious in this in the real world. Remember, your unconscious is kind of deep in your mind.